Hi, my name is Angela Kaplan, and my script is called Television Shows and the Influence of Mental Health Storylines. Historically, characters on television shows playing people with mental health issues were seen as violent, hopeless, and outcast from society. These are damaging stereotypes and have left a stigma that is negative and causes fear for those who suffer from mental health challenges. This topic is important because the mental health issues they show on TV should be realistic and not exaggerated. Whether it's you, your child, or a friend, mental health affects all of us in one way or another. According to MTV, numerous TV shows poorly portrayed characters with mental health issues. Full House, Pretty Little Liars, Will and Grace, and Hey Arnold, to name a few. Some of these shows portrayed characters who had eating disorders that were taken care of in a day, obsessive-compulsive disorder regarding a character who had no disorders and was suddenly terrified of germs. And his disorder went away by the end of the 30-minute show like nothing ever happened. In another show, the character received a jury duty notice and tried to get a doctor's note saying she was bipolar and had multiple personalities. She had neither. Characters in some of these older TV shows who had mental health issues were just plain inaccurate. These may be seen as just TV to some, but many people affected by these mental health issues could be unhappy with how they're being represented to the world and to the average viewer. DVC student Will Hansen favors changes for TV shows. We definitely need more shows that promote a positive outlook on mental health, and a lot of the shows do portray mental health in a poor light or not accurately. Another DVC student, Mackay Kearney, shared his thoughts in television shows and movies. I think the representation of showcasing mental health and shedding a positive light of things that humans can deal with on a daily basis. It creates a new narrative of how mental health should be talked about more in communities and how we can take the steps forward to help each other. I think that the media is doing well at relaying certain messages of how mental health should be taken seriously, and that everyone has their moments, and that is okay if you're dealing with something. Mass media is one of the public's primary sources of information. Certain disorders like bipolar, schizophrenia, and depression, according to Northwestern University. Misrepresentations from the past are now gradually changing for the better. I'm happy to share how much has changed in TV programming from the 1940s, when TV began with live broadcasts and simple comedy shows, to a more forward and realistic representation of people with mental health issues. In a recent article in Psychiatric Times, it reported on the television hit show Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is a professional soccer team coach. His character does a good job of sharing common mental disorders like anxiety and depression. When some of the athletes and coaches show signs of anxiety and depression, the team hires a therapist to speak with players about their problems. The article suggests that the success of Ted Lasso is because the viewer is also seeing that positive change can happen with optimism, self-confidence, and good therapy. Before, it would have been taboo to talk about mental illness on TV shows like Ted Lasso can help change the negative stigma attached to mental illness. Another show that helps to change the negative stigma is A Million Little Things. The show is about a group of friends and family that live in Boston. The show's storyline surrounds one of the group members' suicide. 132 Americans die by suicide every 11 minutes, according to the Center for Disease Control. The show and its writers include conversations around depression and suicide while trying to get rid of the stigma around asking for help. This show offers help to the viewers at the end of several episodes as a public service announcement for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. This is a somewhat new practice for television shows. It's important because it's helping to change how viewers look at mental health issues. Today, the theme of mental illness occurs in many mainstream TV shows, with some shows running a notification at the end of an episode with a phone or website link for those who may need help. According to psychologist Heidi Summers, by tagging crisis hotline phone numbers at the conclusion of TV shows that deal with mental health issues. The media and popular entertainment have hopefully started to turn the tide against the stigma of seeking treatment. Those in need will feel more supported and less alone, something as society as a whole will benefit from. These positive changes are a step in the right direction, and there is evidence to support this. Television shows and movies can support teenagers' mental health issues and help them cope with bullying, sexual assault, suicidal thoughts, substance abuse, and depression when those issues are presented with empathy and proper resources are provided, according to UCLA's Center for Scholars and Storytellers. Another television show that supports mental health issues is 13 Reasons Why. It is intense, controversial. Some people thought it sensationalized teen suicide and was too much for teens. The Center for Scholarly Storytellers did a study of 157 children between the ages of 13 and 17 from across the country. 68 watched season 3 of 13 Reasons Why, while the others did not. All participants did a survey at the beginning of the study about mental health, depression, bullying, sexual assault, and other related topics, and did another survey at the end. One of the questions was whether they had looked for information about these issues. Surprisingly, 62 of the 68 teens that watched the show explained to researchers that they had looked for information surrounding the mental health issues on the show, as well as discussing the issues with others, specifically suicide, mental health, and bullying. We need more TV shows that have positive messages for people dealing with mental health issues and hopefully motivate people to get help. The shows I watch with these types of storylines are just amazing. They can be so emotional, heartbreaking, and a real eye-opener to understand how people can suffer, and often silently. There are so many mental health issues. If it takes TV to relay a message to those in need, that there is help and support from them, and also to let them know that they're not alone, then TV is only a start to address this ongoing crisis in America.